Tatya Tope. Although the whole edifice of the War of Independence of 1857 had collapsed, there were still brave warriors who carried on the struggle with great courage and fortitude. They unnerved the British completely. At the top of the list of these brave persons stands Tatya Tope, the last commander of the last Peshwa of the Maratha dynasty. Ramchandra Pandurang Bhatt was Tatya's original name. He was born in 1814 at Yeola in Maharashtra. To start with, Tatya Tope had accepted employment under the East India Company. But since he harbored a deep hatred for the English, who had annexed the local kingdoms, he resigned from the service soon after joining it. Then he became the chief bodyguard and personal attendant of Srimant Nanasaheb Peshwa. Tatya had an impressive personality. He would speak endearingly and to the point. He would impress anyone instantly. It was because of these qualities that he was able to persuade a large number of Indian soldiers and citizens who were in the employment of the English army to join the struggle for independence. The War of 1857 started all over in India. Srimant Nanasaheb had good relations with the English, though only superficially. So Hillardson, the collector of Kanpur, asked for his help. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Srimant entered Kanpur with his army. Tatya used all his diplomatic skill to get control over the treasury and store of artillery ammunition without any fighting at all. Srimant Nanasaheb captured Kanpur on 4th June 1857. Srimant Nanasaheb got himself coronated and crowned himself as a king on 1st July 1858 and declared the War of Independence. But his effort was short-lived. The English attacked Kanpur with all their might. A fierce battle ensued on the 16th and 17th of July. Tatya put all his military skill to use. The soldiers also fought valiantly, but unfortunately, the Peshwa had to accept defeat. He escaped the chase from the English forces and disappeared into Nepal. Nobody ever knew thereafter as to what happened to him. The Peshwas had ordered Tatya to mobilize all the forces which had fallen into disarray and to bring them together at Kalpi, from where a new offensive was to be launched. Tatya was able to get around a big force together. He resorted to guerrilla tactics and troubled the English in small battles. It was necessary for the revolutionaries to have the Gwalior kingdom, rich in manpower and ammunition, on their side. Tatya had used all his resources and skill to turn around a large segment of Gwalior forces on his side. Thus, when he attacked Gwalior on 1st June 1858, along with Rani Lakshmibai, all of Scindia's forces, on just seeing Tatya, joined him. Gwalior was captured without even a single battle. Scindia and his courtiers escaped to Agra and took shelter with the English. On the pretext of helping Scindia and also putting them in front, Sir Hugh Rose suddenly attacked Tatya on 18 June 1858. A fierce battle ensued, but the enemy gained the upper hand. Tatya was defeated. Rani Lakshmibai had to die a martyr while trying to escape from the enemy stronghold. Tatya was, however, successful in dodging the English and was able to escape with his brigades. For many years thereafter, Tatya continued to fight the British using guerrilla tactics. He was able to defeat the British at many places like Isagarh, Talbahat, Chanderi, etc. But the English had determined to see that he does not settle down anywhere and consolidate himself. 3 senior English commandants, Park, Mitchell and Baker, were after him like hounds. Tatya was successful in crossing the Narmada river at a distance of about 40 miles from Hoshangabad. It was really a marvel as to how he could dodge all these three English commandants and achieve this feat. All this fighting and running about involved movements of nearly 60 miles per day. During this period of assaults, withdrawals and victories and defeats, Tatya ignited the flame of revolution and a yearning for independence in the minds of thousands of people. In spite of having no inducements other than perhaps hard work, hunger and probably death, young people joined his forces in large numbers. The English experienced that on occasions there would have been more than 10,000 soldiers in Tatya's base camp. It was not merely Tatya's impressive personality that brought this about. It was also a strong urge to gain independence. It also became very clear that once proper leadership became available, the whole country was prepared to stake everything and fight even with their own lives to achieve independence. Sensing that Tatya was not being tamed, the East India Company government decided to resort to treachery. They announced a reward of Rs 10 lakhs for his arrest and started scouting for traitors. A commandant of the Scindias, Man Singh, tempted by this offer and out of selfishness became prepared to sacrifice his friendship with Tatya and to betray his own motherland. He found out some excuse and invited Tatya to his camp. He persuaded him to stay on in his camp after dinner. On that black night of 7th April 1859, the treacherous Man Singh showed to Sir Maid the place where Tatya was resting. He attacked and took Tatya, who was in deep slumber after some hectic horse ride, under his control. He was handcuffed and whisked away under a very strong escort that very night to Sir Richard Maid's camp at Shivpuri. Tatya was imprisoned in that fort. Court-martial proceedings were started against him before a military tribunal in the fort at Shivpuri. He was charged with treason and attempt to overthrow the East India Company government. Of course, all this was only a show. Tatya would not accept a court set up by the foreign rulers. He did not therefore pay any heed to the charges levelled against him. Tatya was sentenced to death. He was hanged on 18th April 1859, exactly 11 days after he was imprisoned, under very heavy protection of hundreds of soldiers belonging to the Bengal regiment on the parade ground number 3 at the rear of the Shivpuri fort. Hundreds of English men and women were present to witness the hanging. The War of Independence of 1857 did not succeed. Many states were annexed. Thousands of brave people lost their lives. The revolutionaries were sentenced to death or imprisoned for life. The fire of revolution was doused. But from this smouldering fire arose the sprouts of revolution.